Okay, we're going to solve some equations for the x. A lot of these have more than one x in the problem, so we're solving for x. So I've got 6x plus 3x plus 8 equals 27. Now, first, you don't have any parentheses. First off, make sure you know what your x is, 6x and 3x. If you don't know it, you got to put a 1 there. And then no subtraction. Okay. Now, any parentheses? Nope. Now, look on each side. Here you just have 35, but over here you got 6x, 3x, and 8. Well, 6x and 3x are like terms, so these can be added. So I'm going to make that and write add. And 6x plus 3x is 9x. Okay, and then after that we plus 8 and then equals 35. Now after I've combined like terms on one side, I got to ask myself, do I have just a singular x? I do. 9x being multiplied by 9. Okay, so I got a minus 8, and that's 27. 35 minus 8 is, so 9 times x equals 27. And the opposite of multiply is to divide. So I'm going to divide by the number that's multiplied by the x so that those go away and I have x by itself. And 27 divided by 9 is 3. Okay, my next problem, I'm solving for x. That has a 5 in front, that is an 8 in front, but I don't like these minuses, so those are plus negatives. No parentheses, so look on each side. These are not like terms, and those are not like terms, so I can't do that adding. Okay, now I ask myself, how many x's do I see? There's 2, but they're on opposite sides. Okay, so what we need to do is take the smaller one. That's negative, so we add 8x to eliminate it from that side, and then add it to 5x. So I have 5. Negative 8 plus 5 is 3, so plus 3x equals 14. Now I'm down to just a singular x, so I circle it. Now there's a 5 being added, so we have to subtract 5. So 3 times x equals 9, and then we divide by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay, next problem. Know where your x's are at. You got 5x, and this x here would be a 1. Now any minuses, let's make them plus negative. Okay, we do have parentheses here, so these are not like terms, so we have this negative 3 multiplier, and I got to distribute the negative 3 inside there. So the first product has an x. Negative 3 times 1x would be negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 5 would be positive 15. And I can cross out those two non-like terms and the number that was multiplied. Now, before I write equals, I've got to remember there's a 5x that has to be added in the equation, and then equals 13. Okay, now look on each side. Here you just have 13, but here you got negative 3x, 15, and 5x. So 2 of those can be added, and it would be the x's. So I'm going to write just the word add. I'm going to kind of connect them and write add. Negative 3 plus 5 is 2, so 2x plus 15 equals 13. So now I have just a singular x. I don't need to balance the x's like I did on this one. So I got plus 15, so I minus 15, minus 15. So 2 times x equals 13 minus 15 is negative 2. Divide. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Okay, my next problem, 9 plus 4x. This should be an x here, not a y. Can't solve an equation with 2 different variables. Okay, so 9 plus 4x, and then I've got this x here. That would be a 1, and any minuses, switch those. Okay, now we do have parentheses. These are not like terms, so I need to distribute the 2. So on this side, I've got 9 plus 4x. And this side, I got to do some distribution. So 2 times 3 and 2 times negative 1x. Now, that'd be the second product that has the x here. So 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2x. Okay, can I add anything on that side? No, these are non-like terms, and those are non-like terms. Okay, so how many x's? I still have 2, so I need to balance the equation. So I've got negative 2 is my smaller of the two, so add. And I add that. Okay, so I have 9 plus 6x equals 6. Okay, so it's 6 times x. And I need to subtract the 9. 6 minus 9 is negative 3, so 6 times x equals negative 3. Then divide, but it's got to be, the answer is not negative 2, okay? You need to divide by the number that's multiplied by the x. And negative 3 divided by 6 is negative 0.5. Okay, next problem, solving for that x. That has an 8, that has a 3. Let's make that plus negative. That's the first thing. Okay, make sure your x's have coefficients and make sure, and there are no parentheses. Now, look to combine like terms on one side. So these can't be combined and neither can these. So I don't need to add anything. Okay, now I've got 8x on one side, 3x on the other. So I take my smaller of the two, and it's positive, so I minus. So 8x minus 3x is 5x, and we have to add negative 4 equals 6. So I dot the 5x, so negative 4, so plus 4, plus 4. So 5 times x is 10. I divide by 5, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay, next problem. Again, we got 4x and 2x. Those minuses are plus negatives. And I look on this side, I have 3 different things, so 2 of them can be added. Okay, so I write add, and I add 4 and negative 2. That's 2x. And I have to add a negative 3 before I equal negative 15. So now this is the only x I have, so that's good. I don't have an x on one side and x on the other. So I know it's 2 times x. So I have negative 3, so we're going to plus 3, plus 3. So 2 times x equals negative 12, and then I divide by 2, and negative 6 is the solution for x. Okay, next one's, again, your m's the variable. So I have a 7m and then an m that would have a 1. And I have no minus signs. I mean, this looks like a minus sign, but it's the first sign on the one side of the equals, so I know that that's negative. Okay, parentheses got to go. So we need to distribute 3 to both these. So 3 times 1m is 3m. First product gets the m, and then the second product, 3 times 2 is 6. Now I've got to add a 7m, and then equals negative 24. Okay, now look on each side. These are 3 terms, so we can combine these m's by adding them. 3m plus 7m is 10m plus 6 equals negative 24. So I know I have 10 times m, but I need to cancel out the plus 6. So it's negative 30, so 10 times m. And then I divide by 10. Negative 30 divided by 10 is negative 3. Okay, and the last problem. The y, 4y, and 2y. The minus 5 is plus negative. The minus 7 is plus negative. Now distribute your 3 to get rid of the parentheses. So, because we can't add, those are not like terms. So that's 6y, negative 15. And then the other side is 4y plus negative 7. Okay, these are non-like terms. These are non-like terms. So after I know I can't add any like terms like I do up here. Okay, problem is you got a y on one side, a y on the other. So we take the smaller y, minus it. So on this side of the equation we have 2y plus negative 15 equals negative 7. We're solving for y here. So I know y is multiplied by 2. I have negative 15, so I'm going to add 15. That's 8, so 2 times y is 8 divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, that's all I have to say on that, and you have 8 to do.